The universe. Welcome back to the Who Even Are We podcast with Pat and Taylor.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. How we doing today?
Me?
I was
Or
asking
the
our
people?
audience, but how about you?
I'm here. I had a really good day, and then on the way home,
Being a woman struck.
emotions went all sorts of different directions, so I'm here.
Which, speaking of which, apparently Matt, who we've mentioned on the show several times, has said, like, I want you to do a podcast about that. Like, do an episode about that.
Well, okay.
And it's
wow.
like, hey, Matt, do you just not like me talking, buddy? I'm giving you a hard time.
When you put it in that context, it sounds weird. But he commented on
One of our video.
one episode where I was talking about how women only get like one good week a year. Wow. Well, sometimes it feels like no, one good week a month. And he's like, I feel like that's something that we could all learn about. And I'm like, me too. But I know that many people in particular do not care to talk about the cycle.
Yeah, the menstrual cycle that you can hop on and run somebody's ass over. Yeah, no fun. No thanks.
It might benefit people, though, to understand it and know why and when.
And how to prepare. Seek shelter and lots of chocolate.
Yeah. But,
Anywho, Matt, I was just giving you a hard time, buddy. Anyway, welcome back to the pod. Don't you love our tangents?
He's going to stop suggesting things because guess what never happens? We never answer them. We just talk about the fact that he suggested them and then we laugh about it and we move on.
Yeah, we should watch what was that movie? Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said Superman versus Batman.
That is a movie though, isn't it?
It is a movie and I've never seen it.
So glad his head was not there.
Taylor just tried assaulting our dog with her cell phone. No, she dropped it out of her hand.
I was playing with the pop socket, and then it fell.
He's awake.
Yeah.
Good morning, buddy.
Yeah, you shut the bedroom door last night to go and watch a movie at midnight.
It's like 9:30, thank you.
No, it definitely was later than that, but okay. And it got freaking hot in there. And so this is what I heard him panting at 2 o'clock this morning. And I had to go get up, let him go get some water, come back, put the gate up.
I thought that was a fever dream. That actually happened.
Yes, and I was honestly purposely trying to wake you up.
Gee, thanks. Either way, so with that aside, welcome back, everybody. We're so glad you're here with us for season 2, episode 2. Today's episode, we're going to be doing some fun, like debatable topics. So nothing too serious, kind of trying to keep it light mood. But before we get into that, we do have a big Gizmo update.
We've made bread.
She has turned water into wine.
Yeah.
Just threw you off of your rocker, huh?
Yeah. So, not great. Not terrible.
It's just dense.
Yeah.
But the taste was great. Like, the taste was fine to me.
Yeah. Turns out, everybody, I've been working on making sourdough for like
3 months.
2 or 3 months now. I don't like it. And now I'm kind of stuck with it because we have all of these things to successfully make it. So, there we go.
Well, you also have, those things can be used to make other loaves of bread.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they can. There is a recipe going around that I saw when I was getting ready to give up on sourdough. It's called artisan bread, which basically looks like sourdough. You pretty much prepare it like sourdough, except you don't have the, like...
fermentation process?
Yes, you add, like, yeast to it. So I am curious to try that, because it looks basically like how I would make the potato rolls, just without the potatoes.
Which, those are good.
Yeah. But I am curious to see, like, making sourdough bread with, what do people call it?
Like cinnamon, sugar, and...
incorporations or whatever.
Mix-ins.
Yeah, so maybe I'll like it when it has some stuff added to it.
So she'll like the bread when the bread is more than just bread.
Yeah.
Is what she said.
I mean, it's not terrible.
No, it tastes fine. Like I last night we had breakfast for dinner, and for toast, I decided to use her sourdough and just butter it up and toast it up in a skillet, and I enjoyed it. It was
Well,
good.
that's good. That's what matters.
You did a good job, Hunley.
Well, thank you. We have another loaf that needs to be baked.
Heck yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We just got to get better at slicing slices of bread.
Yeah. It's hard to cut.
Yeah, it was a little. The surface was a little tough.
It's crunchy.
Might need to take it out of the oven a little bit sooner.
It's supposed to be crunchy. Believe me, I've watched 1,000,002 videos.
I've had a lot of sourdough, and I don't remember much sourdough having crunchy crust.
Okay.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you there, kid.
I mean,
I don't really
it's
know what
fine
makes
if
it
it's
crunchy and what doesn't.
But like, there's a border of crunchy and hard. There's a fine line to walk there. So
it's kind of hard to eat. Which is, I mean, that's also why I don't care for, which is going to be bad because it's what you made for dinner. Like, Texas toast as a sandwich.
well, I made.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, to clarify, I made
You made
essentially patty melt for dinner for you because I'm
which
full from
that
lunch.
one was good. Like it was regular bread, so it wasn't too thick. But sometimes when you go to a restaurant and you get like a patty melt or something,
The bread is like thick.
and it hurts
Hurts to chew or
to bite into because it scrapes the top of your mouth.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried you were gonna use sourdough, and I was like, I really don't want.
No,
I don't want it.
I kind of was in a pinch for time, and I just was like, you said I wasn't really hungry, so I was like, hey, I'm probably just gonna make you something tonight. What are you in the mood for? And you were like, sliders sound good, but we don't have buns for it. And I was like, well, we got the meat. I can just make like a patty melt.
Well, that was before
thing.
you said you weren't hungry.
That's true.
I said sliders sound good, but I know that your stomach's a little bit weird with red meat. But I knew we had that hamburger meat in there that we should take advantage of. So.
Well, we made it.
Yeah, and I don't care. You could have put it on a regular, just not toasted piece of bread. Because I kind of grew up on that.
If I would have done that, it would have gotten soggy.
Uh-huh.
That's why I toasted it.
Been there.
You
ever had a hot dog with a slice of bread?
Oh, yeah. Let's hear from our audience. Y'all have done that too, right? Like, it's not just us.
It's hard times. And we have, like what's in Friday? We ain't got two things that go together in this house.
I mean, there'll be times, like, I know, because the only time I really eat a hot dog now is when I go to a ball game. So, like, I think in the last, like, 10 years, I made them at home, like, once. And that was, like, 2 years ago. I really wanted a hot dog for some reason, so I made one. But when I was a kid, I used to have them somewhat more frequently. And one time I boiled some hot dogs, and I go over to the bread, the hot dog buns we had, and there was a nice greenish purple patch of mold on it, and I was like, no thank you. So I used some sandwich bread.
I mean, that's honestly why I don't even think to buy buns, because I know we always have bread, and that works just as well. So why waste the money on buns when you got pretty much
and you get
the bread
like
you need at home?
You get like 8 hot dogs but 6 buns.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't need to buy another pack of hot dog buns. I started to think of the scene from Scooby-Doo, the movie where he's like, I got a bag of hamburgers here for you. That movie, by the way, it's been kind of going around Instagram, like clips from that movie. It's really funny. With the back on. There are some funny scenes in that movie. That's probably my favorite. I got a call from Mr. Dew. Melvin Dew? Nah, Scooby. I got a bag of Anyways.
Random side note. Are we gonna get a theme song? An intro song?
I've
You
thought
got
about
your
it.
fancy little doodad gadget over there.
I gotta learn how to play it first.
I mean, you don't. It needs to be some random notes put together.
I'd prefer the notes to sound good. Like I'll need to look at like the circle of fifths and figure out how to do that on a 1/8 scale piano.
You don't need to know the circle of fifths to make a song.
Well, I'm saying like, on circle of fifths, an F sounds good next to this chord and this chord, and it's
You
just
can't hear it that it sounds good or bad.
well, yeah, I can figure that out, but like when I look at it and I'm playing guitar, I can be like, all right, F, G, whatever. So
I'm shocked you understand the circle of fifths.
yeah, it's not that hard to figure out. It's I would say it's probably one of the easier things in music theory.
I don't think I ever really learned the circle of fifths.
Really? You look at the note and the two notes adjacent to it are notes that sound good with that note. And if you move like to the right, like say you have F and then you have two notes, like I don't know the circle of fifths by memory, but you have like an F chord.
Mm-hmm.
This chord and this chord sound good. Now if you move, like say you're going down like a clock and you go down to the next chord, like let's say it's a G. Okay, a G and a C sound good, and a G and a D sound good.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of work it like a clock.
I didn't make it that far.
Yeah, no,
because I didn't have to.
You asked me to count like how many measures are in something. No idea.
How many measures?
Like how many beats are in a is it 4/4, 3/4 time signature? Sorry, I'm thinking of something else. Time signatures.
The measures are numbered.
Time signatures are like, I'll look at her. We'll be like listening to something, or we'll be at like church listening to the band play. I'm like, is this 4/4 or 3/4? And you're like 3/4, and I'm like, thank you. I'm trying.
3/4 is like the waltz. Yeah.
And then 4/4s.
Mm-hmm.
I got those down. But you give me like 8/16 or
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
If you could see us right now, I was beating my stomach to 4/4. So, what are we doing on this podcast today? Funny debatable topics.
I was like, I don't know.
So, you guys are welcome for that. Some funny debatable topics, or I should say fun debatable topics. These come from a Google search because it was the 11th hour and we needed a podcast idea, so you're welcome.
We had one, but it crashed and burned before it even took off.
It didn't crash and burn. I think we could probably still make it happen, but it's just going to take a little bit more.
Needs to be in advance.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit more planning. So we'll keep that on the back burner and we'll keep it on the loop. So the first of the topics is we'll just say number one. And I'm going to phrase these as a question, because they're not phrased as questions on the search. Should homework be banned?
I feel like there's pros and cons to it.
That's kind of where I was at.
There's cons because, like, for most people, you clock out at the end of the day, you're done. So, like, adults don't have homework. I mean, yeah, we got, you come home, if you have kids, you take care of the kids, whatever. But,
or
like,
if you're one of those people who takes work home with you.
Yeah. But also, I do feel like it teaches responsibility as well.
So I'm gonna give a story from my past here to support my thought. Because in writing, you want to support your thesis, right? So that's what I'm gonna do here. So when I was in 5th grade, before I say this, if by the off chance that my 5th grade teacher is listening to this, or anybody in my 5th grade class, just know I loved our teacher. He was a great guy. He was a great teacher. But his big thing was math. He loved math. And he loved pushing his students in math. So in 5th grade, we were doing 8th grade level math, which, like, to some might be good. And yeah, I think a teacher should push their students, but, like, look at me with math now. I'm not great with it.
Yeah.
The issue that I ran into was we were doing math 3 grades above our skill level, and he would assign us 60 problems. Or there was nights where I had 70, 80, even up to 90 problems. And you gotta think, I still had social studies and history and science along with that, and had homework for those topics as well.
Yeah.
So I would spend 4 hours doing math homework, and it'd be like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I would just have to zoom through everything else, and it was not beneficial.
Yeah.
I think, and of course, like, I'm not a parent. Neither of us are parents, other than two doggos, but if one of our dogs, like, I need help with math homework, and I'm like, when could you talk? Anyway, I think if done properly, homework is not a bad thing, because like you said, it does teach responsibility and things like that, but your homework shouldn't take you 3, 4, 5 hours to do.
Yeah.
Like, you still got to be a kid. It's healthy to go out and play as a child, and because that develops social skills and amongst other things, exercise. But when you're assigning students homework that takes them literally all day to do, and then they're doing that pretty much every day of the week, you're burning them out.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it, like you said, from a job standpoint. You do your 8 hours, you go home. So, I think if homework is assigned, it should be to support what you learned in class that day and practice it. It shouldn't be an accessory to teaching. Like, my issue with math class, and this was always my issue with math class, okay? You teach me a topic. Okay, you teach me how to do something. It's like, okay, cool, I understand this. And then you're like, all right, now let's do the same thing, but add 6 more steps and fractions to it. And it's like, unless you're going into engineering or economics or something like that, like, most people aren't going to use that on a day-to-day basis.
That's the problem. They can't, like, if you're in 4th or 5th grade, you don't know what you're going to be yet.
Well, no,
so they gotta teach you all of it.
I'm saying, like, just in general, like,
yeah,
like, let us master one thing first, and then start throwing the variables in it. Like, hey, now we're gonna do this. You do the same stuff, but you're gonna do this step instead. Again, I'm not math brained. I'm very, like, science, which is crazy because science has a lot of math. But, like, history, science, literature, that was my jam. Science being, like, learning about plant cells and stuff. Like, I was always interested in that, but if you asked me to run an experiment, I couldn't do it.
See, the way that my head operates is history and English are sisters.
Social studies, essentially.
Yeah, and then math and science are sisters.
Yeah.
So it threw me off when you grouped science with English, because to me, English is a no-brainer versus science takes every single cell in my body to figure out.
When I say science, like, earth science for me, like, life science was where it was at for me. Like, I got really into life science, and I had 2 very good life science teachers throughout my time in school, so that really helped there. But again, I think homework should be to support what you've learned and practice it, and not just like, oh, here's 60 math problems, we'll see you at 8 a.m. tomorrow, have them done, and show your work.
It's hard because they're, like with everything, I'm understanding the pros and cons to it. So, like, being our age and being friends with people our age who have kids and seeing what they're going through, homework seems like it just needs to be tossed in the trash. Because these kids are sitting there for 8 hours a day. Kids aren't meant to sit.
They're not built for that.
Like, they need to get up and walk around, which there are things that are happening where, like, they're adding stuff to desks so that they can move a little bit. Teachers are getting creative with the way that they design their classrooms, which is great. So it's like, it's hard because without homework, I would have failed my classes. 100%. Because I'm not a test taker. I couldn't do it. So I had to rely on that easy 100, which is also not a way to do it because
C's get degrees is not the way to go.
Right. And I spent 6 years of college and I couldn't tell you a single thing I learned.
And that's a lot of people who went through college.
It's such a waste of money.
Unless you're going into like a field like engineering or to be a doctor. Like, I've had that discussion before too, where, I've talked to friends about it, where I'm just like, a big majority of the careers, like what makes up a lot of the careers out there, you could learn by doing it. Like the 4-year degree thing, most people, I can't remember the exact percentage, but a big percentage of people will go to school for 4 years and pay all this money on books and tuition and room and board and all that, and they will never use their degree.
Yep.
And so to me, it just seems like, okay, well, yes. And by the way, we understand that. And I've been on the bandwagon of like teachers need to be paid more since day one. Like, it's so important. Our teachers play such a big role in society, and I definitely think our teachers need to be supported better than they are nationwide. But when it gets to higher level education, yes, it is optional. It is your choice if you want to go to college or not, but it used to be, hey, I want to do something like being a nurse or a doctor or a pharmacist or an engineer or X, Y, and Z. Like, let me pursue this higher education. But even if you just had the high school diploma, you could still go out and earn a decent living and support your family and do what you got to do. Now it's like, oh, if you don't have a degree, we're not even looking at you. That's a whole
tangent.
It's a whole other tangent.
I really don't. I have nothing nice to say about it.
So, anyways, I think...
Especially not the state of mind I'm in right now. I'll give you all the pieces of my mind.
I think with homework, I think it should be minimal. Like, hey, you learned about this in science class. Go home and look up something that relates to this, take some notes on it, write a small paper about it, like a few paragraphs, and turn that in. And that should be your homework. Like, actually go out and see how it applies to whatever topic you're talking about. Yeah. Of course, math is a little bit different, but, with history, like, hey, go look up this event and tell me, write a couple paragraphs about some interesting things, some interesting takeaways. So, yeah, I mean, homework, like you said, it has its pros and its cons.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out our new setup over here. Does that mean we've been talking for an hour and 25 minutes?
No. It's been saying the one this entire time.
Okay. That makes more sense. I was like, because I do not feel like I've been sitting here this long.
No.
Okay. That's why I kept looking over. I was trying to follow it to see what it meant.
So I'm pulling up our next topic, and this is kind of in the same realm involving school. Should school uniforms be mandatory?
No.
We're on the same page there.
I understand that people say, it would help with bullying. I can't confirm or deny because I did not grow up in a school with uniforms. But I don't feel like it's going to stop it.
Neither did I.
Because you can wear that skirt different than that other girl somehow, some way.
That's the thing. Bullies are going to find something.
Yeah.
Oh, your hair is ugly. Oh, your shoes are stupid. Like, they're going to find something.
Oh, your mom hemmed your skirt? I don't know. Something stupid.
So, yeah, no. Could you imagine if, like, I mean, like, work uniforms are a thing, but, like, you're representing a company.
Yeah.
And you're earning from that company.
Yeah.
But school, it's like, you're here to learn. Like, if you show up in hoodie and jeans.
I mean, we had a pretty strict dress code, but we didn't have uniforms.
Yeah, I mean, dress code is different than uniforms, though. Like, yeah, I definitely think a dress code should be enforced, but I don't think it should be enforced to the point where it takes away from a child's learning.
Yeah. Don't you show them shoulders, girl. Don't get in trouble.
Swear, if I get a call in 15, 20 years, However, whenever we have children, whenever they're of that age where they're dressing themselves, and they're like, your daughter's shorts are too short, and it's like the tip of their finger too short, I'm gonna raise some hell. Be like, you pulled her out of class for this?
Means you're sexualizing my daughter. That's what that means.
Like, I'm sorry. Teach kids how to respect their peers. Period. That's a hot ass topic we won't get any further into, but yeah, I'm not on the bandwagon with school uniforms. I think like you said, and like I mentioned too, if a bully wants to bully somebody, they're gonna find a way.
Gosh, I would have looked so bad in a uniform.
So yeah, it's that's a whole tangent. This one, I'm not even gonna ask it because I think we're both on the same page with it, and we've talked about it before. Is social media harmful? Yes.
Yeah.
It can be harmful.
It's also helpful, so.
It can be harmful.
Yeah.
It's not always harmful.
Like, the way social media is, it just depends on what you're surrounding yourself with.
Yeah, depends on what.
Everything is an algorithm. If you don't like what you're seeing on Instagram, block it. If you don't like what you're seeing on Facebook, block it. You know, if you don't like what you're seeing on TikTok, don't like it. If you like it,
you'll
like,
see more
if you hit
of
the
it.
heart, believe me, that's how I got started on sourdough.
Watch one video and now you're seven hours in. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, social media can be harmful. I think where my sort of issue lies with it, and I've talked about this before, is when, like, social media, it's people's highlights. That's what they put on there.
Yeah.
Once you understand that, you're fine. Like, you're golden. But my problem is when something happens, like an event happens, and everybody is just spreading what things from various sources, and like the COVID was the worst for it.
Yeah.
Because like you'd read, every post was like, oh, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. Masks are helpful, masks aren't helpful, blah, 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 blah. I remember when the rumor went around where they're putting tracers in the vaccine so they can track people. I was like, idiot, you're typing on a cell phone. They can do it already. It was awful. And then just, people, sometimes comment sections are hysterical. Like, I'll be reading comments and I'm just like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's just people personally attacking random strangers, and it's like, what are you gaining from this?
Nothing.
What value is this bringing to you? Like, it's the old saying, opinions are like assholes, everyone's got one. So I think it can be harmful. Do you concur, or?
I think we're all addicted to it, which is harmful.
Which,
itself.
It also says social media can be addicting. Some say that social media can be addictive. Yeah.
I don't think it, yeah. Mm-hmm. There are times when I wish that I could just throw phones away, and I'm just as bad as anybody.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I saw a post on social media, speaking of which, and it was a picture, and it said, people were smarter when phones were still tethered to cords.
Yep.
And I'm like, yes. Because, like, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not, like, I won't pull my phone out at the dinner table or if we're out with friends or whatever, but, like, I think as I've gotten older, I've been, like, sometimes I'll be sitting there, I'll look around the table, and everybody's on their phone, and I'm like...
Even the older generations now.
And I'm just like, hey, everybody, how you doing?
Yeah.
How's your knee? Like, I don't know. Not calling your... I should say this. Not calling your dad out.
That felt...
It was just the first... Literally, the first thing that... Her dad has knee problems. I also have knee problems, but whatever. How's your knee was just literally the first thing that came in my head. So, Colin, not calling you out.
My dad will sit there and watch videos, though.
Oh, I know he will.
I'll call him out.
I know he will. But it's okay. I mean...
On 100% volume. Because he's going deaf. Love you.
Yeah, I'll let you call my father-in-law out. That's fine. You could do it all day long. I ain't finna do it, though. regardless, social
He's
media
not gonna listen.
social media can be harmful. I think it's good. I think one of the better things that I've learned to do is sometimes I'll just log out most of my social medias. I'll maybe check it like once a day. But like sometimes I'll just log out and just take a break and it's like so refreshing.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I did summer camp where they took all of our electronics away at the beginning of the week. Like there were people there that had them in case anything happened,
Yeah.
but like I was a counselor and I had a camper and all that, and they would take it away. And at first, I was kind of dreading it. I was like, oh. And then they did it, and just like trying to kill our dog again.
I didn't touch it.
Oh well. Either way, he didn't move an inch.
No.
But at the end of that week, when they handed our phones back, some people were like, "Oh my god, I could have just." I was like, I almost don't even want to turn this on. This has been kind of nice. Like this has been like really refreshing. Like, you know, just getting away from it and just being in the moment. And it's something that I really appreciated. And the next year when I did that camp again, they walked down the aisle and I was just like, here you go, take it. Like, I don't care. And it was a good time. So, I think everybody, every once in a while, should unplug from social media. I think it's a very healthy thing to do. So, on to the next one. This one I think is going to be interesting. Are zebras black or white? That's yeah.
I think they are.
Turquoise.
They're polka dotted, of course.
I think they're striped. Dang, I put you on mute.
I had an answer like real quick, and now I'm like overthinking it as I do things. I feel like they are white with black stripes, but now I need to see a zebra to see.
What do you think? Are zebras black or are they white? Sounds like a racial debate. I promise it's not.
Black and white, actually.
They are. Sound like a Michael Jackson song. Don't matter if you're black or white. What if you're a zebra, Michael? I don't know. That's a thinker. You'll like this one because I know what you're going to answer, but I'm going to ask it. What's the best Disney movie? Not your favorite.
I know.
The best.
I know.
That's the tough part.
I know. Because I don't think that my favorite is probably the best.
I think that's what most people would answer.
It's my favorite because it's got memories tied to it, I think.
So it's sentimental.
Yeah.
The
because
best
as an
Disney
adult
movie.
watching it, so my favorite movie is technically Little Mermaid. And it's just because it was something that my dad and I used to watch all the time. My dad still will randomly start singing it, some of the songs. So it's tied to him. After watching it as an adult, I'm like, this movie is not all that great. It's still my favorite movie. I still love it, but the best Disney movie.
See, this is where you're going to school me because you know Disney way better than I do.
Yeah, but now I'm not going to be able to think of anything. Because every Disney movie has their own like lessons to learn.
It's so subjective.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to answer, like, my favorite core Disney movie, it'd be Mulan.
Yeah.
Because that's just a great movie.
But then there are people who hate that movie because that's not at all how
it was.
Things happen. And, like, Pocahontas, it's definitely not the real story.
Right.
Honestly, all the classics, they weren't good stories, but Disney made them into good television.
It's kind of like the thought of Krampus with Christmas.
Yeah.
Where, like, you were bad, Krampus kidnapped you in your sleep. Like, that's pretty freaking gnarly. Get some kids to act right, though.
Yeah.
Cole's boring, dude. Bring back Krampus.
That's still a thing.
In some places, yeah. They still observe that.
But I don't know, there's a lot of good ones.
I'm gonna answer this question from I want to say a logical standpoint, but that's not the word I'm looking for. I'm gonna say it was Steamboat Willie. which I don't know if that's technically a movie or was just a cartoon, but it's what launched Disney into what it is. Without Steamboat Willie, you don't have the conglomerate that is Disney now. So that's why I would say Steamboat Willie, but I think it all depends on perspective. Like, what are you looking for? Are you looking to prove this point or show this? Like, it's so subjective. Yeah, so greatest Disney movie of all time or the best Disney movie of all time. That's a tough one. We'll leave that to our listeners. In your opinion, what is the best Disney movie of all time?
I think it like depends on.
I think it depends on your era too.
Well, and what you're feeling in the moment.
Because like I feel like a kid from like the '90s is gonna be like us would be like the classics, like the Milans and the Beauty and the Beast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then our parents' generation may say something different, but kids now might be like Moana or Frozen or Encanto. So I think they all have their own lore and they're all special in their own ways. And I think it's, crowning something the best has always been a tough topic for me to understand because, like, if it's like a statistic, like, who is the best basketball player of all time is debated so much. And it's like, my generation will say Michael Jordan. But this current generation might say LeBron James. And both are good answers. And then you should also throw Kobe Bryant in that mix because he's a fantastic basketball player. But when it comes down to statistics, it's easier to say, oh, this is the best, period. Where when something's subjective, like Disney movies, like you can watch a movie and have your own interpretation at any point in that movie.
Yeah.
So a movie you may not like at all could be somebody's best Disney movie.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing to think about.
Congratulations, you made
the
world's best cup of coffee.
The next one kind of goes into what we started the conversation off with. It says children must get longer holidays. I'm assuming vacation, like summer break and.
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
Well, I guess it depends where you live.
Yeah.
Because like
you didn't get fall break. Is that what it was?
Yeah, we didn't get fall break. We got spring break and winter break. But our winter break was 2 weeks.
Yeah, ours was. Well, ours was 2 weeks or a week and a half. Look, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But no, I mean, I even remember being in school and I felt like we got a decent amount of breaks.
I guess let's flip this question. How long should the school week be?
I know how long the work week should be.
Is it 4 days?
Yes.
That's how long I think the school week should be.
I was talking about this, because of this week, how New Year's Day
fell
in the middle of the week. I would much rather work longer work days if that meant I got 3 days off.
When we started dating, I had a schedule like that.
Yeah.
I would work 4 days for 10 to 12 hours, and then I was off for 3 days. And 2 days is just, it's not enough time.
No.
Because you go to bed, and then, like, one day you get to spend doing, like, half the day doing something you want to do, and then the rest is catching up. So I think in that respect, give kids an extra day to recover, and adults an extra day to recover, because, like, there's a reason why we look forward to 3-day weekends at work. It's because, like, oh, I got an extra day to, like, actually relax.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets that luxury. And so, yeah, 4-day work week, 4-day school, and I'm on the same boat as you. I'd rather work 4 tens and be done.
Yeah. That's which, for me, in this time of the year, is impossible because I don't have enough daylight to even try to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's not daylight out until like 7:30 in the morning, 7:30. and then it gets dark by 5.
So, makes it hard.
But during the summer, I'll push it till, I'll get home at 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night. I don't get a 3-day work or 3-day weekend, but whatever.
I knew somebody who worked 2 12s. I'm trying to remember because I've mapped it out before. They worked like 3 12s throughout the week and then a 4-hour day.
Hmm.
And then somebody I worked with worked like a 12, a 10, 2 8s, and then on Friday they come in for 2 hours.
Most people in the healthcare field work 12s.
Yeah. And then you get into like firefighters who can have crazy schedules like
4 on, 4 off, or whatever it is.
Like some firefighters, they'll be on for 48 straight hours and then be on for 12 hours and then be off for 4 days and then it just flips. Like it's wild how their schedule works out.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's one of those things where like I guess it all depends where you live because like where I grew up in California, standard school was you start in August, you're out first or second week of June. That's your summer break. Last weekday before Christmas. So like this year, I think the 19th was that Friday before Christmas. Let me look at it. I have to go back and look. So the 20th. So they went to school until the 20th, and they were off the week of Christmas, and then they were off this week. I remember one year in school where Friday was the 20th. And so we got the 22nd, and then Saturday was their Sunday the 24th, and Christmas was on a Monday. Mm-hmm. So we went to school all the way up to like 3 days before Christmas. But then there's parts of California where they have year-round school. So they'll go to school they might be in school in July, but they get another break here and more breaks throughout the year. And I don't really know how that works out because I was never in a school like that, but I think it just depends where you live and how long school days are because, again, I think it would be more beneficial to have 4 days a week of school and give children 3 days off. And same with adults, like, schedule it so, like, you'll always have coverage, but it's 4/10s.
Yeah. I don't know. There's got to be more to life than this whole work 5 days a week and then work at home, essentially, the next 2 days of the week. Rinse and repeat.
Right. I like how, like, the European countries do it, where they have, like, you don't have vacation, you have holiday. So, like, you can go take holiday and be off of work paid for, like, a month and a half. Which is crazy. Would never work here. It would never happen here in the U.S. though.
I'm working on it. If I stay here long enough, I'll have PTO for that long.
Regardless, we'll do a couple more. Is cereal a soup?
No.
Expand.
It's breakfast.
I mean, you could have soup for breakfast technically.
I had soup for lunch today.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have soup for breakfast. Like a tomato soup or something. I don't know.
You don't like soup.
I don't like soup, so I'm going to say no.
It's not a soup.
Is chili technically a soup?
Yes.
I think that falls under the same category as a hot dog, a sandwich.
A hot dog is a taco.
It more aligns with a taco than a freaking sandwich. All right. So we zoomed through that one. I'm scrolling through the list here. Well, I know your answer to that one.
What one?
Is winter better than summer?
No.
You're like, no, next question. We always get on the topic of food somehow. Is McDonald's the best fast food restaurant? You know what I'm going to say.
What is?
Expand.
I don't know, but I know it's not.
Well, in writing, we have a theory and we got to support that, or we have a thesis, we got to support that thesis.
I can't think that deep right now. I'm struggling to stay alive at the current moment.
Oh my gosh. I think McDonald's, people call it the best, but it's not the best. They call it the best because there's so freaking many of them.
Wow.
There are a lot of McDonald's. It's not the number one fast food chain. Like, I think Subway has them beat.
I think so, which is crazy to think. See, my thing is it depends on my mood, what I want.
Yeah.
So it, just like you were saying with the, like, who's the best basketball player?
You know, sometimes maybe you want pizza. Sometimes you want a burger. Sometimes
Somebody
you want
who
Mexican.
doesn't eat burgers probably is not going to pick McDonald's.
I mean, they do have pretty good chicken nuggets. Can't deny fact there.
It's the fries there. But no, you know what? It's the ice cream that everybody goes to McDonald's for.
Yeah, it never gets because the machine's always broken. Yeah, I think that question gets asked because McDonald's, as far as like a burger place goes, has the largest footprint. But if we're talking best, you know, from if you ask me, like, in my opinion, what is the best fast food restaurant, I might say like Taco Bell. Because, like, it's always good. And even when it's not good, it's still pretty good.
Side note, but also on the same topic, I've heard a theory as to why the ice cream at McDonald's is always down.
Why?
They don't feel like cleaning the machines.
It's the same thing with ice makers at restaurants. They are a pain in the ass to clean. So, I hate to tell y'all, but ice makers at restaurants are not clean 90% of the time.
Oh, y'all don't want me to get into the soda fountains at restaurants.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Just remember, I work in pest control.
It's pretty friggin' gross.
Thankfully, I've never had to treat one, but I've taken many courses on what could be happening behind the scenes in those.
Yeah, let's not ruin that
You're
ice-cold
welcome.
Baja Blast for anybody. You see, it's, again, even with Taco Bell, I still question it. It's like, I
feel, well, I think the go-to answer is going to be Chick-fil-A.
Depending on where you're at. There's some places that there's not many Chick-fil-A.
But they treat their employees right. Their food it seems like real food. I know that their lemonade is freshly squeezed because I have a friend who has literally sat there and that was his job, was to squeeze the lemons. So.
But here's the thing. All right, gonna throw a monkey wrench into that. In-N-Out, same thing. They treat their employees very well. They are very big about hygiene and cleanliness. Their lemonade is freshly squeezed. And their food seems legit.
So, what do you want, a burger or chicken?
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it comes down to.
Imagine if In-N-Out got like chicken tenders, dude. The world would explode. See, the thing I like about In-N-Out is they're consistent. Their menu doesn't change. It's the same. You got 4 meals. You could do it these 3 styles. You can add or subtract what you want or what you don't want. But I've never had a bad experience from In-N-Out. I've never gotten sick from In-N-Out. I've never, I don't even think I've ever gotten my order wrong from In-N-Out.
That's speaking pretty highly there,
crazy.
kid.
Like, I'm sure it happened, but even if it did happen, I feel like they'd be quick to correct it.
That's what sucks about,
because humans make mistakes.
Like me and Taco Bell. Is the way that they're going to get my order wrong is by putting lettuce on something. And let's face it, Taco Bell lettuce is a nightmare to get off.
Shredded lettuce is really good, but it is a nightmare to get off of anything. As somebody who worked at a sandwich shop that served shredded lettuce, aka Jersey Mike's, love them. But as somebody who had to clean shredded lettuce out of a sink, where it just, when shredded lettuce and water collide, it turns into glue. And it sucks to get off of things.
Sounds like sourdough.
Yeah, that bread, man. I have to take a scraper and just...
I try so hard. I'm so tired of cleaning the kitchen.
Why? That's why I did it today.
I know, but that's not fair to you either.
Yeah, but I also haven't cleaned the kitchen in a while, so I was like, oh, I don't mind doing it this time. I was like, it's kind of messy. Let me knock out these dishes and wipe down the counters. Like,
You did a lot today. I appreciate it.
I
I know. I rounded that corner. I was like, oh, the Christmas stuff is down.
and then you walked inside. The kitchen's halfway clean because he
Mostly
made more
clean.
messes. he cooked
I
dinner.
recognized it was clean.
It was definitely cleaned.
Yeah.
Not all the dishes were done because I had just cooked dinner,
Yeah.
but like, have to empty the dishwasher. Oh, yeah, no, but no. I think when you talk about best, it's so subjective. Like there's people who hate McDonald's and Taco Bell, but probably praise Wendy's.
Excuse me.
God bless.
I don't know what has happened there.
You know, like I said, probably they might hate those two, but they love this place. Like one place that I know both of us don't like the food is Dairy Queen. But it's one of those places, in our opinion, you go for the ice cream. You don't go for the food.
Oh, I have to show you a video.
Oh boy.
We can make blizzards with the KitchenAid.
Well, without everybody.
Pretty much all you do is you take just generic ice cream, you put it in the thing, you get your toppings, and you just mix it up.
Couldn't you do that
Like-
in a blender?
That would like crush it.
Yeah.
That would make a milkshake.
If you added milk to it.
Anyways, yeah, I saw that video yesterday and I was like, excuse me, why have I not ever thought of this?
It's going to be like May, and I'm going to come home and you're dumping a tube of ice cream into the KitchenAid. I'm like, what the French are you
French
doing?
toast?
Yeah, no, it's so hard. For me, it's such a hard thing to say this is the best.
Yeah.
Because, like, everybody's opinion is different on what's the best. Like, some people might be like, chocolate cake's the best. Some people might be like, red velvet's the best.
Yeah,
I
'cause
can't.
some people, you don't like red
I
velvet. Some
can't
people don't
stand
like
red
chocolate.
We can all agree that angel food cake is a waste of time. Can we not?
I like angel food.
It's like the rubber of cake.
No, it's not.
I haven't had angel food cake in quite a long time. So
We used to eat it a lot because it is a good dessert for when you're on a diet.
cake.
Angel food cake is.
Oh, interesting.
You can get sugar free.
So you take the fun out of it.
It actually really doesn't taste that bad.
Mm.
And they have a sour cream angel food cake. It sounds gross. It's pretty good.
It's like sour cream icing.
Mm-hmm. Sour. What? Cream cheese.
Cream cheese icing. Oh my god. You want some sour cream icing?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I don't know. You want some corn relish with that? Actually, that might be a thing. I don't know.
I feel like it is.
We always get on food.
You did this.
I did this to us.
I could go for a blizzard.
I bet you could. They're pretty good.
Mm.
But you're going to hate yourself because it's like 30 degrees outside.
Yeah. Speaking of, I got to use my heated jacket today.
How did that go?
Great.
Oh, that's good. What you wanted it for.
It's like I was wearing an electric blanket all day. I need to charge it now. It's on like 30%.
God forbid I can't wait for the day where I can wait. Let me rephrase that. I can wait for the day where I get a text. My heated jacket died.
My jacket died.
It's so funny. Gotta charge my jacket.
I had it on in the truck on the way home.
Oh my gosh.
Because sometimes, like, with, like, my electric blanket, for example, I might not be cold, but the warmth on my skin feels good.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think your mom asked me about that. Like, she asked me if I'd ever want one, and I was like,
no.
Unless I lived in a place where it got, like,
Oh,
real
you said
cold.
Addison asked you about.
It might have been Addison. It was Addison. I think. Somebody...
Or he got one or something and it didn't fit.
I think we talked about it. I was like, yeah, you know, the concept's cool and all, but, like, I'm so hot-natured of a person.
Well, I like it.
Well, that's all that matters.
Yes.
Well, anyways, y'all, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing on up. If you enjoyed today's episode, please let us know by leaving a like on the video or commenting one of your favorite moments, or you can feel free to answer any of the questions that we've asked to each other today. If you have not subscribed or followed us yet, you can subscribe or follow now or at any point in time. If you have any suggestions for future content, please let us know in the comments. Matt, we're working on it. We will watch the movie eventually. We will keep you updated on Gizmo and the sourdough process, and we will keep you updated on other stuff as it pops up. But this has been Pat and Taylor. We're signing off. We hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you guys again on Tuesday.
If anybody wants to know why I'm in the mood that I am, just ask your friendly female friend or whoever has ovaries what it's like to be on day one.
Oh, there you go.
You're welcome. Sorry about it.
First.
I'll be in a better mood next time.
Yeah, I walked in the house, or she walked in the house today, and I was like, "Hi," and she's like, "Hi."
Hi.
It's like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "Nothing," and I was like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "It started." I was like, "Oh." Makes sense.
You looked at the dog and you're like, we need some chocolate stat.
We need some chocolate stat. Anyways, y'all.
You're welcome for that.
We will see you guys on Tuesday. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful weekend, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Peace out.